last time, and I just came to support the school board with the vote that they had last time. I know there's been a lot of comments, this, that, and the other. I won't get into that, but I think we need to stand by what we've decided and go on.
Thank you.
I'm Tina Hartrick. I'm from Dallas City. My daughter is the only Dallas City girl who chose to go out for basketball, freshman through senior. So I have a very limited knowledge of the program except for what she's experienced this year. I will say that for the majority of the season, I felt like things, I guess, were what I had heard. And I'm not saying in any way anything good or bad against Mr. Keene. It is just my understanding that a decision was made. I'm a second grade teacher. I tell my kids all the time, I mean what I say and I say what I mean. And I hope that whether the decision now looking back is not what maybe you had anticipated, it was a decision that I would hope that the board would stand by their decision that was made.
Thank you. Okay, Randy.
I'm Randy Boston, Burnside, Illinois. I'm speaking for myself concerning Zach Keene with basketball. And I will say up front, I had emergency eye surgery Friday, so if I stumble a little bit or back up, it's because I still have an air bubble in one eye, so it's a little bit discerning there off and on, so I may go slow. Okay, in the real estate business, it is said that one sale does not make a trend. As a citizen, I decide to pay more attention to the matters that are taken into consideration by the Illini West School Board. I was at the meeting last year at this time, and the board was asked to approve volunteer coaches and sponsors for fall sports. The vote included approving Mr. Unruh as a volunteer coach for football. There were votes against Mr. Unruh. This type of vote I struggled with. I asked why members of this board vote no for a coach who has a winning record, who has led multiple teams to state and runner-up finishes, and has been inducted to the Hall of Fame. This year, I was again at the meeting for approval of the fall sports volunteer coaches, and again, there was 3 votes against Mr. Unruh. So I contacted the school to determine the policy used and for a better understanding of how the volunteer system worked. Based on those calls, I understand that coaches that wish to volunteers are first approved by the head coach of any sport, and the administration also give their nod for approval. At that point, the coaches are presented for approval by the IW board. After that explanation, I was satisfied that the head football coach, Mr. Lafferty, clearly wanted Mr. Unruh to be a volunteer coach. But the question still remains, why would 3 board members vote no this year on a coach, Mr. Unruh, that was requested by the head coach? As I indicated earlier, I was at the meetings when winter sports were voted on last year, and 2 members of the board voted against Mr. Zach Keene as head girls basketball coach. At the last meeting, after the seating of the new board member who was appointed to fill the position of Mr. Clifton, the board was asked to consider the retention of Coach Zach Keene, and with the 4 not in favor, 3 in favor, the coach was not rehired. All the no votes for both years, both coaches, were from the same area. After standing back and thinking, some interesting facts surfaced that both of these coaches had worked for both the Carthage High School programs and the Illini West School, and both had achieved success in both school systems. Mr. Keene has won multiple regional and a 3rd place finish at state, along with never having a losing season in his coaching career. Now I even have more questions based on the information in the news and the calls to administration. Zach had received good evaluations from the athletic director, the principal, and the superintendent. Like so many people in the community, I want to know why. I want to know what the policy is related to how a school board can trump the recommended evaluations of administration related to a coach. I am suspicious. There is a personal vendetta against these two coaches who have made their mark at both the state and local and state level. Is there a movement among the board based on personal feelings related to these coaches? Is this the board's calculated effort to take a reputation in both basketball and football and punish them for being successful? I'm left to ponder all these questions. An even greater concern to me, what is to happen to a teacher who is gifted and inspires our students, but finds themselves at odds with the board member? What is to happen to their careers? Also, I wonder if this method of intimidation will affect teachers and coaches and other employees. Let me say that again. Also, I wonder if this method of intimidation will affect teachers, coaches, and other employees. Our community deserves answers to the questions about the board and administrative policies related to hiring and retention policies, and then we need to be assured that these policies are being correctly followed. Specifically related to the issue of Coach Keene, according to this board, there was no reason given for not retaining him. But let's face it, there is a reason. The 4 who voted no on this issue had a reason for the way they voted. If these 4 had information related to this coach that was not discussed prior to coaching evaluations, they have breached their own policies. If there is a personal agenda that is being followed, should we not question the ethics of all the board members? You, the board, approved and are aware of the policies and procedures that you have been elected to uphold. So we want to know, have you or did you violate your own policies and procedures? How do we know what other policies have you overlooked or just plain not followed because it's more convenient to take action? How do you expect the people that you represent to have faith in your actions and decisions? These are all questions that I have pondered since your last meeting. I have made many calls and have tried to understand, but these are lingering questions. I also ponder what lasting effects this will have on our district. What are the chances we have to hire? What are the chances we will have for hiring good coaches and staff? How long will they be permitted to stay just until they make a board member angry? In conclusion, I stated by saying one sale does not make a trend. Related to voting on coaches, it appears that there is a trend beginning to form. The question is, do you want this trend to continue, or do you want to change this method of doing business and do what is right by our children and ourselves? This is respectfully submitted, Randy Boston. If you have any questions, I'll answer them, and I'd like for this to be inclusion in the minutes for the board.
Okay, thank you.
I have a signed copy, I'll give it to Cindy.
Eric?
My name's Eric Bryan, 874 Pines Court, Carthage, Illinois. I'm going to talk rather loud because there's another 15 people out there, so I want to make sure that they can hear me.
Get them in here.
We can get them in here. Okay.
Come on in, please.
You can stand right around behind the board if you want.
I was gonna say, welcome.
Yep. Whatever we need to do.
I'd like to first thank you for the opportunity.
Are they all here?
I think so. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to talk tonight. I'm here as a citizen and as a taxpayer. I'm somebody right now who is concerned and scared and embarrassed for the Illini West School District. I'm not here to support Coach Keene. I'm not here to talk about whether Coach Keene's a great coach or bad coach. I'm not here to talk about some of the alarming specifics that occurred last month. But what I am here to talk about is the overall process in which Coach Keene wasn't rehired last month. I feel I owe this to all the students and staff of Illini West, both present and future, and to all of our communities. I know being on a school board can be a thankless job at times, and I truly appreciate the time you guys put in and the headaches that go along with this job and your willingness to stick with it. But last month, when your administration recommended Coach Keene to be rehired as a basketball coach, and you took that recommendation and voted against it on a 4-3 vote, with all due respect, you overstepped your bounds. And you sent a huge message throughout our school, our communities, and across the state of Illinois. There's 3 groups of people that I'm really concerned about right now. I'm worried about our administrators, because right now they got to really be scratching their head and wondering who's in charge. You know, our school board needs to realize that the business of education is unlike any business that you're accustomed to working with. You know, your job is to oversee and to monitor and not to manage. That's what our administrators do. Our administrators manage. Our school board governs. And at the good districts, there's a difference, and they know the difference. And what you did last month is you handcuffed our administrators. You handcuffed our administrators of being able to make sound decisions. They're trained. They go to school. They've gone to school for years to make sound decisions, both curricular and on personnel, for the best interest of their students. And what you did last month is you sent a message. You sent a message to them, and you sent a message to everyone else that you're going to start taking over those decisions. You're going to make those decisions. And that's not what happens in good schools. I worry about our teachers. I worry about what's going through their heads right now. Because as a teacher, you know, I want them to be able to make sound decisions. I want them to work hard. I want them to know that what they're doing is right, and that they're trying to please not only themselves, but their principal and their superintendent, and not have to worry about how to count to 4 and appease the majority of a school board. You know, I worry about right now for our teachers is, what does an evaluation mean at Illini West right now? What does the fact that my principal thinks I'm doing a good job, what does that mean? What does that mean to our teachers? And probably what I'm most concerned about is our students. You know, I've got 3 kids who have yet to step foot in this district, and they're going to be coming in at a disadvantage, along with all of our other students. They're going to be stepping into a district that's not going to be able to recruit good teachers for many years. And when I say good teachers, I'm talking about teachers that do things the right way. Why would a teacher want to come to Illini West after the precedent that was set last month? You know, good teachers don't necessarily apply for jobs. Good teachers you go recruit. And what you did last month, you know, I talked about handcuffing our administrators. You took the ability for our administrators to go steal, whatever you want to call it, good teachers from other districts. Because what good teachers do is they research before they take a job. Because most good teachers already have a job. And for them to leave their job and to come here, one of the things they're going to do is they're going to find out, what's the climate like? What's your school board like? And the message we sent last month, it has created a whole new climate that I want to discuss in a little bit further detail. Our students also will come to a school now where morale is going to be in question. You know, I know, I've been around teachers all my life, and I know when teachers are happy, they teach really well. I know when teachers are confident and they're proud, they teach even better. And right now, the message that you sent to our teachers, they've got to be scared. I would be scared if I was a teacher and my board took powers, administrative powers, away from my principal, my athletic director, and my superintendent. I know that when we have quality instruction, we have high student achievement. And I know for us to have quality instruction, we got to have happy teachers. As a principal, I've got two really big goals. One, I got to keep my students safe, because I know if they're safe, they're going to learn. And the second thing I've got to do is I got to keep my teachers happy, because I know if my teachers are happy, they're going to teach their rear ends off. And if we've got good quality instruction, we're going to have high student achievement. And all of you are very aware of the importance of state scores in the upcoming future. Everything we do as schools now are going to be based on those state scores. And I want my teachers at their best. I want them coming to work every day, proud of where they work, not afraid of where they work, and to give my kids and everybody else's kids their best effort every day. I would be willing to say in the last month, we haven't got the best effort from all of our teachers. And again, I'm thinking of an educator myself. When a message is sent like this, how would it be for me to come to work? And I'll be real honest with you, I wouldn't want to come to work. I wouldn't want to work here right now. And I'd be willing to bet right now if I polled our teachers and I could offer them another job where they wouldn't have to relocate and wouldn't change their lifestyle, I'll bet 70% of your teachers right now would leave the Illini West District if I could guarantee them that, because of the message and the precedent that was set last month. And the last thing I worry about my children and our children is right now we're in a district where the chain of command is not being used consistently. And it needs to be used consistently and done daily. In Coach Keene's case, if there's parents who are upset with what Coach Keene is doing, they need to go to Coach Keene and talk about it. And if that problem isn't resolved, the next step is to go to your athletic director and go to your principal and discuss the situation. And then if you're still not satisfied, you go to your superintendent. And if the problem has yet to be resolved, then you ask to be put on the agenda and you talk to the whole school board. These behind-the-scenes, one-on-one phone conversations with board members have got to stop. I talked to a board member 2 weeks ago who made a comment to me and said, over the last 3 years, I've received 15 to 20 phone calls on Zach Keene. And I asked him, I said, how many of those parents actually talked to Coach Keene? And he said 1 or 2, maybe. That's a problem. We can't solve problems if that's the way we're going to address things at Illini West. You know, teachers, administrators, we're problem solvers. We get paid to solve problems. And if it's done right, you won't get phone calls. If the process is done right and that message is sent throughout our district, you won't get late night phone calls because the problem will already be taken care of. And our teachers deserve that. Our administrators deserve that you're going to give them that kind of support. Because following that chain of command gives them that confidence. It gives them that support. That not only you back them, but you're backing your administrators. Mistakes are always made. Okay, everybody makes mistakes. And I guess what I'm really wanting to see done tonight is I'm begging this board to go back in executive session tonight and discuss this again. Discuss what happened last month and correct this. You know, I've talked to some people that said the board will never do that. Boards are too proud. They don't want to set that precedent. But the precedent you set last month is far more damaging than any precedent you could set in a school. You took the administrative power away from people who are trained to run schools. And you sent a message to your teachers and to your students who's in charge. I'm not here to save Coach Keene. Okay, I want to reiterate that again. I'm here for our students. I promise you this will affect instruction and education in Illini West for many years. This will affect our students in our communities. You know, communities need healthy schools. They need schools to survive. You know, we want our schools to be a place where people want to move to. We want our schools to be a place where we can keep people and retain people here. Because if we've got healthy schools, our enrollments are going to go up. We're going to be able to offer more programs, and our local economies are going to be able to survive. And right now, those things might be in question. I ask that you go back and you get this mistake corrected and send a message. You know, send a message to our communities that we're going to have a great school. We've got a lot of things going in the right direction right now, but we've got some big challenges ahead of us. We've got no chance of facing these things and going in the right direction unless this gets corrected. Send a message to everybody that our administrators run the building. That's the way it's supposed to be done. At good schools, the administrators run the building. They manage the building. School board oversees and they monitor. They govern. Send a message to our teachers. This is a great place to work at. Send a message to any incoming potential teachers that might want to come to Illini West. This is a great place to work. We're going to do whatever we can to keep you. Send a message to any community members or any potential community members. This is a great place to live. And help build our school systems and help build our local economies. I don't question your integrity. I think you're all good people, or else you wouldn't be on this school board. I truly believe I've got all the respect in the world for people who run for school boards. And I truly believe you're on this school board because you care about kids. You care about all of our kids. Whether they're from Carthage, La Harpe, Dow City, you care about all of them. And I'm asking you again to seriously take into consideration the ramifications that could occur if we don't get this corrected. You know, I think it's very refreshing when people, you know, make a mistake. I make mistakes all the time, okay? But I think it's very refreshing when somebody can make a mistake, admit they made a mistake, and correct it. And I think if this board can agree that maybe we did overstep things a little bit and did things the wrong way and make this go away, I think it could be one of the most refreshing things that's happened in our district in the last 5 years. You know, I think about my own personal marriage. You know, when I can get my wife to admit she made a mistake, it doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it makes me feel good. And it's not because it was a victory for myself, but it kind of reassures me. It reassures me that she cares. She cares enough about me and cares enough about our marriage to make things better. And although there's people that are going to say if this board goes back on their vote, you're setting a huge precedent. I disagree 100%. I think what you would be doing is standing up and doing what's right and correcting it. And that goes a long way with people. We're a very forgiving society. I've been involved in education all my life, as a student, as a parent, as a teacher, a principal. I've been in the regional offices of education. I've even been on the school board. I've never been more scared for my kids and for our kids than what I am today. I've talked to people from regional offices of education. I've talked to people from the State Board of Education. I've talked to people from the Illinois Association of School Boards. We have a huge black eye on our district right now, and I'm asking you to make this go away. I don't want you to be remembered for this. You know, each and every one of you can walk away from this eventually. You know, your term, I don't know when everybody's term comes up, but you're going to be able to step away and wipe your hands clean from what is taking place tonight and last month. I can't. Most of us can't. We need a great school. I need this school, and I need this to be a great school. And I'm asking you to not let Illini West be remembered for what took place last month. Thank you. Next.
Lauren?
Hello. I'm Lauren Grunwald, and I'm here to speak on behalf of the Illini West girls basketball coach, Zach Keene. When Illini West converged in the school in 2008, the only thing I kept hearing from my older sisters for other teachers and administration was for all the students to be open-minded and give it a chance. To not look at it negatively and to pursue the idea as if it was an opportunity and not a chance to fail. It gave everyone the opportunity to meet new people, the opportunity to create a stronger school system, and the opportunity to make 3 schools become one. As 3 separate school districts, we converged and became one, Illini West. The Illini West girls basketball coach, Zach Keene, did the exact same thing. We traveled to summer camps and made differences in people's lives. We gave little girls a taste of what it's like to be a Charger and how proud you can be. You don't understand what it's like to hold an overnighter and have 2nd graders come up to you and say, I want to play basketball just like you someday, or I can't wait to be an Illini West Charger someday. The fact that you can make a difference in somebody's life and give them the hope to have a future in anything is powerful. Coach Keene taught us that you represent Illini West High School, not as an individual, but as the entire school. He represents the teachers, the school board, the students, and the fans. You show them how professional Illini West is, and that when you lose, you'll hold your head up high. Not everyone can experience what it's like to have a coach that will do anything for you, or help you accomplish your greatest dreams. Coach Keene showed me what it's like to dream, and not just dream, but dream big. A lot of people didn't expect the girls basketball team to do anything this year, but we did because we dreamed big and went for it. And even though we ended up losing the sectional, Coach Keene didn't say one thing to us that we did wrong. He told us how proud he was of us and told us to hold our heads high. It was because of Coach Keene that the student section and students of Illini West comes to game. When teachers give extra credit for coming to the games and getting a coach's signature to prove they were there, Coach Keene. Not only on the court, but in the classroom. I remember freshman year, and he still does this, on health tests, writing, "I believe in myself," on the top part just for extra credit. And most of you are thinking how cheesy this probably is, but if you think about it, how many of you, before you complete a difficult task, tell you, "I believe in myself"? How many of you have someone there to remind you how great you are and how much you can truly accomplish? Coach Keene was that person for me. How many of you knew that Coach Keene has inspirational texts sent every day to remind us to live up to our full potential and not to give up? He always told me when things get rough that you keep on pushing, that you keep on believing. So the question of the matter is, how many of you want us to fail? How many of you want to watch Coach Keene leave because the school district didn't think thought we needed a different direction? I hope you aren't talking about getting a coach that spends no time with the team, a coach that decides let everyone play so parents don't complain and having a losing season, or a coach that teaches the girls that Illini West isn't something to be proud of and respect. What has Coach Keene truly done that is in the wrong direction? We won the regional, the only sport team at Illini West to bring home a title. He gave 100%, taught us how to respect and represent you, the school district as a whole, and he has taught us how to become women and to live life to the fullest. I do not as a person see how it is going in the wrong direction. He has pushed students to do their best and to believe in themselves. Coach Zach Keene is one of the best influential leaders the school district has, and to let him go because you want to go in a different direction is an excuse. I have so many people ask me, why did they let Coach Keene go? What happened? And you know what my response is? If you find out the answer to that question, you let me know. You can't say a different direction is the reason because there is no other direction to go. You aren't going to find a coach that is dedicated and puts this much heart into his career. The last point I want to make is family. Not only have you impacted the team, the community, but you have impacted his family. This hits home a lot of this because imagine what you would do if you were treated like this. You wake up one morning and find out you don't have a job, you don't have your coaching job, and when you ask for a reason, nobody can tell you anything except 4 board members decided to not vote you back. You weren't told what you did wrong or how you can improve to keep your position. If someone walked in here and said, you won't have a job tomorrow, would you just walk away or would you fight for it? Would you question the decision? How would you tell your kids when they ask what happened and the only thing you can say is, I wish I knew? Why treat a person that represents you, the school district, so awful? You can't be proud of what you have done and you can't say you hold your head high because of this loss. You can't walk out of here and not be able to say you did your best because you didn't. You can't say that you are proud of what you have done because if it happened to you, how would you feel? Give Coach Keene the respect and that you deserve as part of this community. It's not about how you vote as an individual, it's about what's doing best for the team. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Good job.
Highlighting from my report, May 2nd, we'll have our second annual signing day. Year one, we had 10 or 12, we had a multitude of signings, and media were traveling the roads, trying to get back and to make everyone. So to accommodate that and to try to make it one big event where everybody can attend, we'll have a day where